We are live. What's going on, everybody? Hope you are having a good Thursday afternoon. Figured I'd do something a little bit different. A live watch along / reaction for the latest episode of HBO Max new sci-fi show. We're talking about Raised by Wolves. I reviewed the first 3 episodes last week. You can check out my non-spoiler reviews on that. I enjoyed the show. I'm a sci-fi fanatic, so anything sci-fi, anything Ridley Scott, I'm typically on board for. And the first episodes were really solid. The first 3 episodes, let's say. I think for me, episode 1 was the strongest out of the 3 episodes, just because I felt like it just really kind of set the tone. It really gave me more of those sci-fi beats I was looking for, and it really kind of intrigued me a lot. And episode 2 and 3 were fine, but it didn't really hit me as well as the first episode of Raised by Wolves. So if you guys are just tuning in, what we're gonna do is a live watch along, a live reaction for episode 4. It's really interesting how they're releasing these episodes. We got episode 1, 2, and 3 last week. And then today we got episode 4 and 5. So trying something different, doing a live watch along, because I know a lot of people have been asking me, am I doing a watch along this month? If you guys are new to the channel, ever since late March, I've done at least 2 to 4 watch-alongs every month consistently for the last, 6 months now. It can be TV shows, it can be movies, obviously, and been having such a great time doing so. But I wanted to kind of pump the brakes on the watch-alongs this month, just because I have a lot of things planned for October's watch-along. But I want to kind of mix it in with these TV shows. So again, this is going to be something new. I'm going to be doing a live watch-along with you all, live reaction / review for episode 4. And then depending on how well this goes, I might do it later today for episode 5, and we can just kind of discuss it together, break down the episode, theories, predictions, all that fun stuff. So again, if you're not too familiar with what a live watch along consists of, I'm not going to put the video up on the screen just because of what happened yesterday with Warner Brothers and the Dune trailer, which they uplifted and appealed my video for. But what I am going to do is I'm going to have a timer on the side of the screen. So if you guys are watching this live, which by the way, there's 5 people in the chat now, welcome. Hope you're having a great day. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. But also, if you are at home, if you're available, we can watch this together. So in about, let's say 6 minutes, right at 12:10, we'll go ahead and press play. If you guys don't have this, if you don't know where this is at, this is on HBO Max. It's an exclusive HBO Max show, which premiered last week. And if you guys are fans of the show, we can watch it together. But then if you're coming upon this, you stumble upon this video later today, later next week, I don't know, later this month, then we can watch this episode together. We can break it down. We can kind of make our theories, our predictions, our pros and cons of the actual episode. So like I said, in about 6 minutes, I'm going to press play on my HBO Max. I'm going to watch it on my computer. And then if you guys want to, that are currently live on the stream, you can press play on your copy, or I should say on HBO Max, and we can watch it together. And then if you're watching this on the replay, that timer is going to help you guys kind of cue it up so you can watch it along with me and the commentary and all this stuff. And then you can comment in the chat if you're not able to join live. So yeah, like I said, last week's episode was really, for me, the episode 1 was my favorite. It just really kind of set the tone. I thought it was just a really well told story. Visually, it was great. Ridley Scott did direct the first 2 episodes, and then his son, Luke Scott, directed the 3rd episode, which I thought was the weakest out of the 3, and nothing against his son. I just didn't really, the 3rd episode just didn't really sit well with me in regards to just the story and just kind of the shift in tone to a certain extent, focusing more on the religious group and Caleb and everyone there, where I really want to focus more on Mother. And we figure out by the way, these are full spoilers. So if you haven't seen the first 3 episodes of Raised by Wolves, go check it out and you can kind of join the conversation. But when she finds out that she wasn't technically responsible for the death of her kids, but she kind of was, because you would thought that they probably would have looked at the food a little bit more in depth. But yeah, we got Film Explorio. What's going on, man? Going to review this soon too. That's awesome, man. I'll catch the recap after I've seen it. Definitely. I know you're covering it. You and AJ are covering it on your Instagram, which is dope, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna be trying something new. Like I said, I'm gonna review this episode here and then live, and then seeing how well this goes, I'll review episode 5 a little later today. It may reach out to some people to see if they want to hop on here and kind of discuss the episode live on YouTube. So in about 4 minutes, we'll go ahead and get it started, guys. Again, if you don't have, if you're wondering where this episode is, It's on HBO Max. And then, like I said, in about 4 minutes, we'll go ahead and all press play on our copies on our digital platforms on HBO Max, and we'll watch it together and kind of break down the episode. And I'll give you my live reaction / thoughts. We'll have a discussion after. I'll give you like a brief review of the episode. And then, like I said, depending on how well this goes, we may do this again later today for episode 5. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys are thinking about the show this far. Like I said, we got 6 people in the chat now. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Let me know if you've enjoyed the first 3 episodes, which episode is your favorite thus far. And if you've seen this episode, because I know it dropped like at 2 a.m. last night, let me know just your general thoughts without spoilers, and kind of what you thought about the episode. So we'll go ahead and get it started in about 3 minutes. But yeah, man, like I said, I like sci-fi. I love sci-fi. I love sci-fi. So like I said, I like the first 3 episodes was solid. First episode was my favorite. Third episode was kind of shaky. It's really those, to me right now, the 2 aspects of the show that really isn't working for me entirely. And I know there's going to be obviously development, but the new batch of kids that mother and father have, I don't want to criticize their acting. They just haven't hit me emotionally quite yet. I just don't think the younger cast has really brought a level of like really hooking me into those characters. The only younger character that I'm really kind of on board with, and I think his acting is pretty well, is the young man that plays Champion. I thought he's a pretty solid character. I'm really kind of invested in his story so far. His kind of, can I trust mother? Can I trust father? Are these, are they trying to kill us? Are they taking advantage of these kids? So I like his storyline so far. But the other kids just haven't worked for me. And then the other aspect of the show that's kind of shaky for me is the religious group. I don't know. Again, Caleb and his girlfriend, whose name is slipping me right now, I don't know what their intentions are per se. And their whole narrative of them wanting to protect that kid. I get that they had the flashbacks last 3 episodes of showing you how they grew to love one another and care for the young boy who was, in the sinkhole from last week. But some of that stuff, and then like the religious aspect of the show, the religious group of the show just really hasn't hooked me in quite yet. But the thing, the saving grace, and by the way, we're going to start this in 1 minute. The saving grace, what's going on, Jay? The saving grace for me so far is Mother. I think the character is so cool, and just very fascinating character. And I don't know really if we can trust her or not. Is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? But she's the most intriguing character for me personally. And I'm really enjoying the actress who's playing her. I think she's the best actress on the show. And I'm just really, really intrigued by the mother character. So it is 12:09 on my end. As soon as it hits 12:10, I'm going to go ahead and press play on my copy. And it is that time. So let me go ahead and cue mine up. And for those that are live now, we're going to start this in a couple seconds. And then those that are watching replay, once I hit the timer, you can go ahead and press play on your copy and we'll get this thing started. So in just a few seconds, we'll go ahead and 5, 4, 3, 2, pressing play. Go ahead and press play, and we are going to start now, which I think they're going to show last week's preview. So we'll go ahead and watch that and then go ahead with the episode. So pressing play now. Paul, yeah, that's his name. Yeah, we found out that Tempest was pregnant last week. Again, those that are watching at home live now, we got the previously recap. And the episode is now starting. So about a minute of previews or a minute of last week's recap and starting now. So I'm going to go ahead and move this from the chat. And I'll bring it up periodically as far as the timer goes. We still haven't really fully understood what these creatures are. But I assume these creatures, aliens, come from this sinkhole. Geez, what is her power limits? And what is in those sinkholes? So we see that she saves Paul. All right, so they're playing the the intro of the show now. Yeah, let me check on the chat, but I don't know what mother's intentions are with these kids so far, guys. I know they're raising these kids to be atheists, but can we trust mother? Low key, I love this intro to the show. Love the song and the kind of visual animated layout of the intro. Again, for those that are at home, we are watching the 4th episode of HBO Max season 1, episode 4, called Nature's Course. And we are right at the 3-minute, 44-second mark. Just starting the episode. If you guys are at home and just tuning in. So this planet they're on is, we're getting some other areas. I know Mother said they want to take them to the tropical part of the planet. I will say, I find it very interesting that a lot of these people don't realize that Marcus isn't the same Marcus that they know. And knowing that there can be facelifting in this world, that they haven't thought that he might be an imposter. So we got a prophecy. What is this? Jay, what we got here? How can she put the kids to sleep? Yeah, her power limits are just over the top, I guess, Jay. She's like a Dr. Manhattan almost like character, where she's a world destroyer, a necromancer, as they call her. Which, again, that'll be really interesting to see if we explore her powers, how she obtained her powers, what are her power limits. Besides taking out her eyes, is that the only way that you can stop her from destroying anything and everything? As she tells the kids now, her eyes are weaponized. The opening shot of them walking in the desert, though. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The show is, visually speaking, again, some of these story beats haven't really worked for me, but for my sci-fi heart, being a sci-fi fan, the visuals and the set pieces are incredible. Yeah, she don't want to hear that, champion. Especially after you hit her eyes. And there's definitely a lot more to explore with Champion as well. Him being the only survivor at a very young age, being a stillborn. Playing a robot android, they do a really good job at it because it can be very kind of either over the top, very dull. It's kind of a balance of the two, and I think they do such a great job of playing their characters, mother and father. Yeah, this kid's kind of annoying, the leader of their group. Oh, he didn't save his little mouse buddy from his fake parents. Interesting. Yeah, Father, I don't think that's a good idea to eat this creature. I don't think that's healthy. I think it is very interesting so far. I will say regarding the landscape of this planet that they've yet to come across these creatures until now. And they've been on this planet for 12 years. Again, let me, for those that are just tuning in, again, we're doing a live watch along of this episode. And we are, just to kind of let you guys know, we're at the 9 minute and 53-second mark for those at home. That's an interesting question. I never thought of that. Father, I mean, he seems to be more compassionate than mother. And he has the joke. He's a jokester. Yeah, I wonder what mother's true intentions is with Tempest's child. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, again, I hope they really explore her power set because she's just making people fall asleep. She's just extremely powerful. And is the baby even ready? What is she doing? Oh my goodness. I don't know. I have to think about that a transmitter or like a tracking device? So I assume that's a tracking device that she has, and then she's gonna take it out of all the kids. Yeah, that's how Caleb was able to, I should say Marcus was able to find where they were. Okay, that makes sense. I wonder how she didn't notice that when she first saw them. Is that her humming, or is that sound like it's humming? Yeah, I don't think that's not her in the scene. It's just ADR. So this show is beautiful. Again, throwing them off their scent. Yeah, they clearly don't care about their kids. Which we really don't. I mean, it looks like a lot of them survived the crash last week. Jay says maybe the ship that fell in the hole woke the beast. That's a good point, Jay. You might have a point, man. Because that's when stuff started to really hit the fan. When was a champion went in her first father went there, and the champion went there and it exploded. But didn't we already get a creature before that? Before the ship fell when Champion was exploring. But you might be onto something though. He wants them to break open the rock ship object. Yeah, but say, I don't think father and mother are the best to determine what food these kids should eat or not, considering that they gave them terminal cancer the last time. I like champion and father's kind of relationship they've established so far. Again, I guess I'm just so like confused about what they've been doing for the last 12 years on this planet. I know they were feeding them the food that made them ultimately sick, but it's just like you would think they would have found other sources of food on this planet, but apparently not. Is it me or their leader looks like an older Robert Pattinson, especially from Tenet? Neil, maybe this is Neil in the future. Um, peace in chat. Thank you. Yo, what's going on, Trouble Follows? Hey, like I said at home, for all those that are just tuning in, we are watching. You're getting my kind of laugh, reaction, review, discussion at the end of this episode here, episode 4 of Raised by Wolves, which is on HBO Max. So if you're watching this at home, I have the little timer on the screen now, so you guys can cue it up to where I'm at the episode, which is right at the 18-minute and 22-second mark, where it looks like their leader is somewhat flirty, maybe. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking about the episode so far. Trying to remember what their leader's name is. Ambrose. Yeah. Okay, her name is Sue. All right, cool. Gonna analyze the, as he's calling it, pizza. He's gonna name this new food source pizza, huh? Well, looks like pizza is not good for you in the real world, nor is it in this world. So far, like, what are we at, the almost a 20-minute mark? This is a little bit slower paced. You know, I'm loving the visuals, like I said, and Mother and her, you know, her power sets, but a little bit of a slow burn. She's not. Mother's such a liar. Well, there's the title of the episode, Let Nature's Run Its Course. Yeah, Trouble Follow says, apparently no planet survey was done. Apparently not, man. You thought these androids were beyond smart. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. What's going on with Caleb / Marcus? Yeah, what is going on? I'm confused what's going on right now. Someone plant the earwig on him? Oh, Caleb or Marcus probably did this himself. Here we go. Little division. This show is morally gray. No clear good or good side. Yeah, it's very true. Trouble follows. Definitely don't know who the good guys are versus the bad guys. Totally agree with that sentiment. Hmm. All right, now it's getting interesting. So again, everyone at home, as you can see on screen now, we're right at the 24-minute, 12-second mark. And Sue just killed Ambrose's android. Oh. The android set the plant the seed, but was the android given orders by Ambrose? Interesting. Interesting. I still think the Ambrose, their leader, told his android to plant that seed. We got a civil war going, which I mean, we all saw this coming from the last few weeks. Ambrose and Marcus clearly don't get along. Obviously, we know Marcus is really Caleb, who isn't a part of this group and doesn't understand the level of, who's the leader in the situation. And he's obviously not religiously inclined to believe the same things they are. So we kind of knew that was coming eventually. So more Ambrose versus Marcus to come. I'm not gonna lie, Champion is kind of annoying sometimes. I mean, he's a young kid, obviously. He hasn't had a normal. None of this is normal, obviously. I don't think Campion's going to kill this creature. Yeah. Um, let's see. We got someone else in the chat. Oh, sorry about that. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Top Shelf. Forgot the mic was off for a bit. This Hunter character is definitely providing kind of the comic relief of the show. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay now. It's really interesting. Kind of the idea now the show is kind of playing into the title of Raised by Wolves. You got to be the instinct, survival tactics, and seeing what people were willing to do to survive, even if, it's against their beliefs to kill living creatures. Who's going to be the one that kills it? Is that Holly? Is that her name? Decided to kill the creature monster. No. No, don't seem to be listening to you, Father. You're not too intimidating, especially if you don't have the eyes of Mother. Kill the monster if you guys can get food. I don't understand. Again, like I said up top, the kids in this show are just not hitting me yet. I'm not too. I just really don't have a character that I really enjoy more than others. Besides, the only young actor in the show that seems to really have my interest is Campion, but everyone else, Hunter, Tempest, Holly, they're just not hitting it for me quite yet. Again, her power sets are so curious to know what the limits are. She's just, like I said up top, she's like Dr. Manhattan and Superman powers. Which kid is Paul and Champion will play out those roles? Not sure what you mean there, Top Shelf. What is mother doing? Oh, is this the sleeping chamber? Okay. So I wonder what's this implications going to have with mother now having this chamber hyper sleep program that the others were using for their journey. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Top shelf fandom. Founders of Rome were raised by and she wolf, and they end up killing others raised by wolves. Yeah, like I said, the concept of raised by wolves is definitely kind of playing into the idea of the show so far, kind of breaking the empathy of these children to know how to become more kind of a little bit more savage. Interesting flashback here. She again, for those at home, we are right at the 34-minute, 23-second mark. We're getting a flashback sequence with Mother and Camp and Campion. Kind of showing us that he's a strong kid, man. He's been through a lot, and he definitely has the characteristics of a leader, man. He's willing to take the fault for other people's mistakes. He's looking at, he wants to make sure people are safe and fed, and he has that compassion that father and mother are trying to maybe rip away, for he can become more of that savage nature of survival of raised by wolves. So Champion, like I said, Champion is definitely my favorite character thus far, for sure. I didn't hear your answer for how these go for you. Watch parties, they go good. Top shelf answer, like top shelf fandom. So I've been doing them since March, man. Do like 2 to 3 to 4 sometimes a month. And normally I have like a panel of other amazing content creators. I want to kind of go solo with this one just to kind of play around with it. But normally I have a panel of 4 or 5 other people. We discuss the movie or show at hand, and they're pretty fun, man. So I would definitely recommend it if you're interested in doing watch parties on your channel, man. Definitely give it a whirl. It's a lot of fun, man. It's like essentially the way I look at watch parties, and these things are like watching a director's cut of something or a director's commentary where you're talking about the film, pros and cons, and have some interesting discussions. So they're fun. To answer your question, I do recommend them. Give it a shot. Yeah. Ambrose definitely. Yeah, appreciate it, Top Shelf fandom. Appreciate it. So Ambrose is definitely, like I was saying earlier, Ambrose is onto their con artist nature. They're fake imposters. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is interesting stuff. You know, backstabbing, lying, deceit, survival, all those tactics. You know, but this episode is kind of, you know, a little mediocre. If I'm being honest with you guys, we'll talk about it at the end. This video is gonna be, this episode will be ending pretty soon. This episode is a little. Definitely a slow burn. Hopefully, maybe the rollout for having episode 4 and 5 is maybe 4 is the setup and 5 is the payoff. Hopefully, like I said, we might be doing a watch along later today for episode 5. What does she want? They want to use the explosive to get themselves warm. I'm surprised more people haven't revolted against Ambrose. He doesn't seem like much of a good leader. He almost seems like of an imposter of sorts. Maybe he is. Who knows? I'm not gonna lie. I'm really not sure what's going on right now. Why can't they just? Perfect time to swoop in, Marcus. Oh, wow. Interesting. I mean, we knew Ambrose Marcus beef was gonna rear his ugly head sooner rather than later, but I wasn't expecting it this soon. So bye-bye to Ambrose. And hello to Marcus. Interesting. Again, how many of last week it showed there was like a bunch of survivors left. Now it looks like there's only like 9 of them. I'm very confused on how many more of these survivors are left. Now Sue's okay with it. I thought she was against the killing of Ambrose, but I guess she has no other choice. I think there's going to be some conflict there between Sue and Marcus here soon. Or Caleb. I don't know. Do you guys prefer if I call him Marcus or Caleb? Their real names. No more creatures. What's going on here? What is going on? Androids are hallucinating. It's freaking ghosts on this planet now. What is going on? Of course, it's going to pick up with 3 minutes left in the episode after all this kind of slow burn. What is she going to do with this scalpel? By the way, I'm listening to this audio in my ears. This is a really creepy, eerie score right now. It's pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of FX Devs. If you guys watch that phenomenal sci-fi show by Alex Garland. Oh, she killed the monster, the creature. She's hungry. She's got to eat. Got to feed herself and her baby. Oh, jeez. She's really hungry. They're not going to even cook it. That's disgusting. Hey, again, the show's playing into Raised by Wolves, man. You got to fight to survive. I love this. Again, the score is pretty dope. I wish this episode was more in this vein. Oh, snap. It's interesting that she was the one that killed it because she's a mother and she kind of knows how that feels. Interesting. I tell you what, that was a good way to end the episode because if I'm being honest, as the episode's wrapping up, and again, guys, if you like this, we can do this later today. I can do this same thing for episode 5. I love the score, by the way. Very reminiscent, like I said, FX on Devs, kind of tribal score here. But yeah, that's the end of the episode, guys. I'm going to continue to listen to the score. I love the score, by the way. But as it plays in my ears. Interesting episode. What did we learn? So Ambrose, I wonder, did he tell anyone else that he knew that Marcus and Sue weren't who they say they were? And if someone else knows this information and is holding it for later on, but Ambrose is dead now, and it looks like Marcus is going to take the position of the leader. So that's really interesting. And Marcus hears voices from this interesting statue soul object. And then as far as our, mother and father and the children, they're, again, mother and father are trying to have them tap into more of that primal survival, you got to do what it takes to survive type of mindset. Again, the name of the show was Raised by Wolves. So inevitably that innocence, that lack of savage nature will have to be employed to survive on this planet, which again, I'm still confused at how we talked about it earlier, how they've yet to kind of really survey the land and really don't know what's on the land, what's edible, what's, resources to take advantage of. So that still kind of confuses me, especially them being these powerful androids and super intelligent androids. They haven't really learned the lay of the land yet. So it'll be really interesting to see Campion. I think inevitably he's going to end up revolting against mother and father, and he'll probably be the one. I don't know if this is going to be multiple seasons or whatnot, but I would imagine so. But I imagine he's going to be the one that's going to finally figure out more about mother and her capabilities and her powers and things of that nature, and destroy one of her eyes, if not both the eyes. So I could see where the show's headed in that direction in regards to maybe predictions for the weeks ahead. But yeah, interesting episode. Again, episode 1 is still the strongest for me. It had the most sci-fi elements, the most intrigue, the most entertaining aspects to it. Not that the show has to be both, has to be this sci-fi epic fights every moment, destruction every episode. But this episode was more of a slow burn. Again, the rollout for this episodes 1, 2, and 3, giving you the 3 first episodes, and then this week 4 and 5. I think that this was more of being such a TV watcher. This was a setup episode, setting us up for potentially episode 5, which, again, let me know in the chat if you guys want me to do this later today for episode 5, a live reaction watch along, or if you would just prefer more of just a traditional review that I do on these channels. So I don't know. I'm probably leaning towards doing another watch along and maybe reaching out to some people, seeing if they want to watch it with me later this evening, and we can break it down together, get their thoughts on it and all that stuff. So I'm going to hit out some people, make some calls to some people, see if they want to join on. If anyone in the chat wants to join, let me know. We can definitely have you on and discuss episode 5 if you've seen it already, or if you haven't seen it, we can definitely discuss it. But yeah, you guys were mentioning it. Wait for it again. Yeah, that was gross. Her eating that dead monster creature that we still don't know much about. Both sides are wolves. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we see that the savage nature of the religious group as we saw Marcus kill Ambrose to. Number one, he wanted to kill him because he found out that he wasn't Marcus, that he was, an imposter. But it also to also show a sense of we got to fight to survive. Again, they don't come from that kind of religious mindset that these others do. So they know what it takes to survive, as we saw them earlier in the first couple episodes. So yeah, definitely a good point there in regards to both sides are becoming more of the wolves and that savage nature of humanity. So, Mark says episode 5. Okay, that's good to hear, because again, this episode was fine. The same goes with episode 2 and 3. They're fine. They're visually stunning. Again, Mother is the most intriguing character. Her and Campion, and Father, they're the 3 characters so far that I'm most interested in. Caleb, Marcus, Sue, they're there. Obviously they're imposters. It's interesting to see them kind of change their nature and try to, camouflage themselves to a certain extent, and seeing them kind of walk that line. But like I said, this episode was okay. But if you're telling me episode 5 is better, that's great to hear, because I'm liking the show. Again, I'm a sci-fi fiend. I love sci-fi shows and movies. So I'm glad to hear that episode 5 kind of maybe picks up the pacing a little bit more, gets a little bit more questions answered regarding Mother, regarding the Great War, regarding more of, the religious aspect of the soul and all that stuff. So I'm glad to hear that. And I'm excited to check it out. Every child on the show is being raised by someone else, even maybe Tully, everyone in their own agendas, but little concern with actual well-being of children. It's a good point. It's a very, very good point. I liked what you're saying there. Everyone is, again, I love when shows play into their titles, Raised by Wolves, and like you guys are saying, On Bold. And that's why I love doing things, discussing these shows and breaking it down more from a surface level to more in-depth and layers and conversations about these shows. So that's a really good point. That everyone's kind of being raised by someone else other than their natural born parents, which is very interesting in regards to maybe you are who your environment is versus like your primal parents raising you to the traditional sense. So very good point. I thought it was fun. If you're referring to this episode, Jay, I'm glad you thought it was fun. I thought it was kind of mediocre, kind of meandered and kind of slow paced. But again, if you're telling me that episode 5 is picks up more, that's good to hear. Again, I'm really enjoying the show. I don't love the show as much as I did the first episode. The first episode to me, I'm like, oh, dude, this is gonna be a great sci-fi adventure, and it has the makings of that. It just hasn't hit me quite yet as well as I wanted to, but I'm enjoying it so far. I wouldn't say fun is the word. I wouldn't say I'm having fun so far. It's just a very interesting, like, okay, more thought-provoking show versus more of a entertainment value. But I'm enjoying it so far, to say the least. At least initially. 5 is that's what I like to hear. Trouble follows. 5. That's what I want. Again, I want to know more about Mother, her powers, her creation. Who are her creators? Again, going back to Ridley Scott being attached to this as executive producer, just reminds me a lot of the Prometheus. The engineers. Where do they come from? And that's where I was hoping that franchise was going to head. But we're not going to get that apparently, according to Ridley Scott. So I like. And episode 5 is an origin story that gets me really excited, really, really excited. I think perfect compromise on release shows is both. Yeah, this is interesting. Let me know how you guys feel about this. 1, 2, and 3, and then 5 and 6 today. And then does that mean 7, 8 next week? Or like that's really, really. I watch a lot of TV, as you all may or may not know. That's been a part of this community. And I don't watch cable television, but Netflix. Binge all at one time. Hulu starting to kind of experiment and dropping seasons at once, but then they're doing something different with The Boys. The first 3 episodes last week, and then every week moving forward. So this is new, where you're getting bulk episodes, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. That's really interesting. I don't know if it's different. Let me know what you guys think about this rollout of these episodes. Like this show. That's awesome, Mark. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I meant the watch along. Okay. Thank you, Jay. I'm glad you're having fun, my friend. So yeah, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. Again, overall thoughts. It was a solid episode. This felt more of a setup episode more than giving us more answers and a payoff. I feel like episode 5, if you guys are saying it's a origin story, maybe it's an origin story and kind of plays into the thread line of where we are now in this episode. But I'm excited to see more of Mother's backstory. But solid episode. Still, number 1 is my favorite. And then I would say 2 than this. And I didn't really like the 3rd episode, if I'm being honest, but I thought this one was much stronger to a sense of, again, getting a little bit of understanding of where this show's kind of headed in regards to the more survival, how you're going to survive in these circumstances, these 2 distinctly different types of groups of people, as well as humans, how they survive, how androids survive, things of that nature. So I'm liking that aspect so far, and I'm excited to learn more about what's coming in the coming episodes. So, we got here, Boys is Fire. Yeah, I reviewed the first 3 episodes of Boys season 2. I enjoyed the 3rd episode a lot of The Boys. And who knows, I might do this tomorrow with The Boys episode 4. Let me know if that's something you guys would like to see, a live reaction review like I'm doing now for The Boys episode 4, and maybe reach out to some people, see if they want to join. But I might. Again, this is the beauty of having a YouTube channel. You experiment with things, you try different things. I'm so used to doing the traditional reviews, but maybe switching things up. So I might do this same thing, not only with episode 5 tonight for Raised by Wolves, but I might do this for The Boys tomorrow. We'll see. I'm thinking about it. I'm going to maybe get a panel together to do that. Watch this now. I really want to get into this, but the first couple episodes were a little, that's kind of where I'm at with it. This is now. I thought episode 1 was really, really strong. Episode 2 was fine. Episode 3, I did not like. This episode was fine as well, but it is kind of it's a slow burn, and I can appreciate a good slow burn as long as you give me a good payoff. And that's where the show is just like, okay, it's setting up this lore, this mythology of this religious aspect. These androids wanted to make these children atheists, and the different, the Great War happened. So there's enough meat on the bone for me to continue to bite at it. But I hope, I think this is only a 9-10 episode season, and we're at the halfway point when I watch episode 5, which I haven't seen quite yet. I hope that it starts to lay the foundation of, okay, where exactly are we headed with this show? That's where I guess right now, it's only 4 episodes. Again, it's just being a TV watcher. This is what TV does. The first half of the season sets up for the second half, for you can get more answers and kind of see that where the narrative is heading. So it is a slow burn, but hopefully it pays off. You call episode 1 slow? No, I didn't. I loved episode 1. Or Mark, if you're referring to the watch this now, I loved episode 1. I did not think it was slow. I thought it was fantastic. Can you do one for the boys? Yeah. Again, if you guys like this format, I'll definitely do this for the boys tomorrow. And I think that show, again, Raised by Wolves and Boys are 2 different genres, right? I think Raised by Wolves is more, like I said, a slow burn, more of a thought-provoking show. No disrespect to the Boys, because it has some thought-provoking political issues about power and how we perceive people with power and things of that nature. But I think the Boys might be a little bit more entertaining because there's, some funny moments, there's some obscene, crazy moments. So I might do this with the Boys. So definitely something I might consider tomorrow, and maybe getting together my own group of superheroes to maybe react to the episode. There was a lot going on, but I didn't feel engaged. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Watch this now. I'm kind of on the same line with you. There's only 3 characters so far that I'm engaged with, and 3 storylines that I'm really kind of more interested in, more so than the others. That is Mother, Father, and Champion. Those 3 characters to me right now are the most strongest regarding their backstory, what we've been given so far on screen. Marcus and Sue, they're fine. The other children, they haven't really worked for me. So I kind of know where you're at now. I kind of know what you're saying in regards to feeling a lack of engagement from some of the other stories and characters. Episode 1 was crazy. Episode 1 is my favorite episode so far. Like, by far, easily. What's going on Unboxing? What's going on, man? Have you been watching the show Unboxing? Have you been watching Raised by Wolves? If so, let me know your thoughts. But guys, we're going to wrap this up in a bit. So what I'm thinking, kind of behind the scenes, what I'm thinking now, again, if you're watching this live, thank you for stopping by. I know it's kind of like I literally thought of this idea, like, I get most of my ideas come at like 12 o'clock at night. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try a live watch along reaction for this episode to see how it plays out. But if you guys like this type of format versus your traditional review, I might do this for future episodes. I'm going to probably do this tonight for episode 5. So let me know if there is a good time that you guys will be available to join the chat. I'm going to probably reach out to some people and see if they're available, maybe at Central Time. So maybe at 6 or 7 to see if they have seen episode 4. And then if they want to do a live reaction to 5. So definitely something I'm going to do with this episode coming up next. But yeah, I like this format. This is more engaging because I get to get you guys' thoughts. Again, you guys, I love the comments you guys made about being raised by wolves and the kind of the undertone of the show so far. So I love these conversations. So definitely keep an eye out for more of these coming in the future, potentially with other shows like The Boys and maybe some other stuff in the future. But I had a lot of fun, guys. But overall thoughts, episode was fine. I think it's more of a setup compared to apparently that next episode is an origin story, which I'm glad to hear that, but I also hope that it's kind of a origin story for Mother, but at the same time, we're still getting the narrative of this current storyline. So it's like 2 parallel storylines. I like when shows give us a flashback, but then when we're in the current timeline, it kind of coexists with each other. Like they're both, telling the same story, just in a different timeline. So that's what I hope the next episode really kind of gives us. So again, thank you to everyone that stopped by. If you haven't already, give this a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. If you're watching this on the replay, I hope you enjoyed this commentary, this reaction, this watch along, this review of episode 4 of Raised by Wolves, Nature's Course. Let me know in the comments once you've watched this on the replay, your thoughts on this episode, your pros, your cons, your theories, your predictions, and all that fun stuff. So again, keep an eye out for my community tab. I'm going to let you all know when I'm going to review episode 5. It will be later today. I just got to figure out a time that works for you all. And also, I'm going to try to reach out to some people and see if they're able to hop on and get their thoughts on this 5th episode. So again, like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you all are staying safe. And we'll see you later today for episode 5 of Raised by Wolves. See you guys later.